Hi, James.
Hello.
How are you?
Oh, sorry, I forgot I had this on. How are you?
Very good to see you. You know, I bought a surprise today. I was supposed to be on my own, and last night my father came back from Spain. So I sent him a message saying I was going to have a discussion with you this morning, morning for us. And so he's going to come in the next minutes. He was happy that I included him. And I was not sure he was going to be back, particularly because there's so much snow at the moment in Spain. So we were not sure, but I think it's good he can share this discussion with us.
Salut, James.
Salut. Tu vas bien?
Eh oui, toi?
Excellent, merci. Okay, well, great to see you both.
Yes,
And well, why don't we just start off right away? Give me your impressions on 2018. I know we talked about it back in 2019, but now after the wines have been bottled and you spent a lot of time tasting wines, what's your impression overall and what's your impression for Angelus?
Well, to start with, you know, we give a name to each vintage. And I think this name, the Phoenix, is particularly important for us because it really reminds us the conditions that we had to live with in 2018. It was the first vintage that we were experiencing the organic agriculture. And at the same time, we had such a hard mildew pressure here in Bordeaux. So, you know, we call it the Phoenix. We could have called it the unpredictable, the unexpected as well. Because really, the first part was so worrying for us. The team had to work so hard, particularly with the organic farming. And the second part of the year was really unexpected. We would never have thought that we could produce such a magnificent wine. So that's really to remind, you know, the context, the atmosphere at the time. Now, you know, we tasted the wine recently a lot because we are, of course, with the negotiant and the courtier talking about this vintage. And we can definitely say that the wine shows that at the same time, I'd say the depth, the intensity and the superb concentration with balance and freshness. And you know that 2018 at Angelus is the first vintage where we added foudre. And the reason for that is that we discussed a lot with my father about how can we improve the precision, the finesse, and how can we work on the wood impact. Not that it's too big, but that it can be improved slightly and bring more precision and more freshness. So, you know, in 2018, there are two foudres where we made aged cabernet franc. And that is something that is really noticeable for us. And that brings this extra finesse and elegance that we're searching.
I can add just a few things more about when we taste the 2018. For me, it's remind me maybe something on the right bank, maybe more, which look like in between 98 and 2001, you know.
So weird you said that because I was thinking today tasting Palmerol and Centennial, and I actually wrote it down in my notes. I go, this reminds me a lot of the 98s because they're very powerful and sort of old concentration like style, but then it's a modern where it's very precise and well made. I had exactly the same impression.
Exactly the same. This is it's very sharp. It's very pure. It's very a lot of precision. It's not really a blockbuster, but it's a lot of depth and elegance. For me, well, it's really what I like in 2018.
But what you said for me, if we have to sum up, is the depth of the fruit, the complexity and the richness in this wine.
I agree, and the quality of the tannins is definitely has less. There's definitely less wood impression in the wine. I think the larger really, and the tannins.
Yeah.
For me, we really achieve the constriction really what I like in the top wines, the construction of which is so difficult to get. When you have the purity, you have the excellence of the finesse, but also you have the quality of tannins and the quantity of tannins. Because we have a lot of tannins, but the tannins are very, very cashmere, very sophisticated.
And as far as the mildew, how much did it reduce your crop by?
We do not. It's very difficult to say if it's the mildew or if it's the organic farming. All in all, it's not more than 10%.
Oh, okay. Because some people have more problems.
Yes, and more on the Merlot. I should say on the Merlot, maybe we lost about 15%. And in Cap, we lost maybe 5%. Because, the Merlot is more sensitive for the mildew.
And how would you compare, for example, 18 to 19?
Yeah.
I personally think that they are the same, in the same category in terms of level, but they are very different styles.
Yes.
We have one that is more in an opulent style, more, exotic, even we'd say baroque, and the other one that is much more traditional, classical, more Bordeaux style. I'd say the classicism of Bordeaux for 2020.
A little bit more acidity, pH, of course, and the tannins are the construction of the tannin are different.
Yes.
But I like both, but I think really one is more on the great tradition of Bordeaux, very classic. On the other side, it's a little bit more what we talk about 2018, something very, it's something very sexy. It's a great wine with concentration, but something very sexy, which awake you when you taste the wine.
Okay, well, listen, I just wanted to get a quick thought about the vintage. And, I've tasted your wines, and Angelus was fantastic. One of the best I tasted so far. So, and also I enjoyed the Yulelon Pomerol as well, the Plus from
Laforest.
By the way, how did 2020 work out in the end?
Well, we were so happy. We at least in 2020 we would have had something exceptional in a good term, good meaning. Is the wine is the vintage. So we are going to start the blending in the next weeks, and we'll be able to tell you more about it. But we have been so happy, and so we have kind of a trilogy with 18, 19, and 20.
Wow.
I think it's fantastic that we can have this. Or, as if the environment we live in at the moment is really, how can I say, enthusiastic.
Yeah.
Just a few things about the vintage. For me, it's maybe a combination with 19 and 18. And really, I am very, very excited by the 2020. Difficult to say after two great vintage, another one. But I really believe it's really a great vintage. Maybe one step ahead for the Merlot. Some Cabernet Sauvignon are just amazing, but maybe the latest, we didn't get exactly 100% what we believe. But for the Merlot, some Merlot are just in Saint-Emilion, even in Médoc. But the Merlot is just spectacular. And the Cabernet Franc, spectacular too. Cabernet Sauvignon, when they were not too late, you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
And not too late for picking, it was great. For me, it's a combination with 18 and 19. Talking about the vintage, it's very wet. Not a lot of rain, but very, very wet till the end of June. And after the people talk about very high temperature, I don't agree. It was very, very dry. Very dry. July, August, no rain, nothing. Just a few rains mid of August, but more or less nothing. Fortunately, we have clay and limestone, but the vines didn't show any stress. It was very green. I had some picture of the vineyard, in the end of August and beginning of September, very green. That the vines resist very well. And then in September, we had a few rains, but we picked really the grapes before the big rain.
Well, when was the big rain then?
No, because we had heavy rains. No, we had heavy rains at the beginning of the cycle. These heavy rains at the very beginning of the spring really were beneficial for, let's say, the summer, because we had all the water that was necessary for the vines in the soil, in the clay. And we didn't have heavy rain. Well, the heavy rain at the end of September. That's why we picked beginning of October. We picked from 15th of September until 30th of September, right in the spot where we didn't have heavy rain. I think just after. But just some little rains that allowed to soften the skins and to make the vine, start again. So it was really this window that we picked that was great. But it was, it was quite a short window of 2 weeks exactly.
And we picked
that was like 98.
Yes, and we picked the Cap Franc in 3 days.
Wow.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and the rain arrived Thursday afternoon.
But I think a very key point is that even if we picked the Cabernet Franc in a narrow window, they were fully ripe. They had a full maturity, and that's very important because we could have left them, a bit more, but they were fully ripe. So there was no matter of urgency. Urgency, yes, because we didn't want to have the rain, but we were not hesitating. Oh, are we right enough? How are we? No, because we knew already that was ready. So that was not a problem for us.
Wow. That's really exciting. I can't wait to taste it'll be fun to see the differences in the wines like Right Bank, and then you'll taste Medoc. It'll be different. It's going to be fun. Okay, well, I'm going to head out. I know you guys have another appointment.
Sure, I have to run into negotiation.
Yeah. Okay, mes amis.
Send my regards to Mary as well.
I will.
And we'll be in touch soon.
Okay. Merci encore. À bientôt.
Bye. Bye, James.